Hi, this is Paul Chartier. You're watching Heart of Gold. Thanks for tuning in. We have a great program this evening, great folks on that'll tug at your heartstrings. Our first guest is Latitude of Lexington, Molly Rabner, the director of Latitude, and Ralph Reynolds, an artist at Latitude.
Right.
I can pretty much guarantee that the majority of the people watching have never heard of Latitude in Lexington. I'm saying of Lexington. I know where you're located. Tell people what you do, Molly.
We are primarily an art studio for individuals who are perceived to have a disability, an intellectual disability of some sort. We consider ourselves a professional art studio, and people come in every day and we feed them materials. They already come in driven and inspired, and we move them forward creatively, and we also get their artwork out into the community and even out into the world internationally now. So we also do yoga, we do music, drum circles, and things like that.
I didn't know about all that. Good.
We do collaborations with local artists as well. People come in and do workshops, and we also use art as a voice for advocacy for individuals with disabilities. So we do a lot of creative endeavors within the community, using art as a voice, perhaps for people that may not. Some of our folks don't have verbal abilities, but they have a lot of artistic and visual abilities, and we use that as a vehicle for empowerment and advocacy.
You know, we have a structure of how to function, communicate, what have you. Art, there's no method, there's no science to art. So there's no roadblock for anybody, speed bump to get over to be creative. And what a great vehicle for anybody to express themselves and what's going on up here and make it appear on something tangible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially if someone within our society is misunderstood in a way to where they can't communicate verbally, but they do. We're all creative. We all have that spark in us. It's just some people forget. Fortunately, our artists have never forgotten their creative spark.
And we'll get back to your location and people that you serve. Ralph Reynolds, you're an artist with Latitude?
Yep.
How many years have you been doing that, Ralph?
I guess 17 years.
And when you come in every day, what happens in your brain that ends up on paper, on canvas?
Just things that people had told me and things that they told me in their house, in their sitting room, and what I saw on TV most of the time. And
what's your favorite kind of artwork?
Mostly just cars and military stuff and that sort of thing.
And it's interesting what you said, that someone can say something to you, and based on how you perceive it, that's going to be your impression of what goes on.
Yep.
Yeah.
If I was sitting in a restaurant or sitting in a whatever, and somebody come up and tell me something, or if I go to see one of my old friends that's in a nursing home or something, then they remember.
So when you come in, do you come in every day, Ralph?
Yeah. Sometimes I'm a little bit late, and sometimes I'm a little bit early.
Do they punish you for coming in late?
No.
And what's your favorite kind of art? Is it painting? Is it drawing? What do you do?
Mostly drawing, and mostly just little things that I see. And
if Latitude was not part of your life, what would happen?
I don't know. I don't know.
Do you love Latitude?
Yep. And I hope it stays there just as long as it can hold out.
Well, I do too. Molly, how many people do you train, do you work with on a yearly basis?
At the moment, we have about 32 to 33 active artists that filter in and out during a week. Not everybody's there at the same time. We work with someone's schedule. Everyone has different things than they do in a week. Some people have jobs and things like that, so we cater to what works for somebody. You know, we have a few people that come all day, every day, because that's all they want to do. They want to make art, and so it depends. We in and out. We're sort of a revolving door all day long. You can imagine there's about 30 different artists that come in and out in a week.
How big is your staff?
There's 4 of us.
And does someone need to be in the room, because I've been in the room, kind of managing each, how does that work?
Absolutely. There's somebody, at least 2 people at all times, if not more, in a room. We do group projects together where we bring everybody together and we do collaborations together and with other community members and things like that. And then there's also time for people to work individually. And within that, my staff is amazing. We're a team. It's not just one person at Latitude. That's for sure. And they're all very talented artists as well. And so we move each individual forward creatively. And so each person gets a little individual time to do that as well. So there's always staff circulating within the studio.
And the type of art, is it drawing, painting, ceramics? What's the limitation, or how expansive does it get?
It's a little bit of everything. We do sculpture as well. A lot of times those might be more of the collaborative efforts, but we do have one artist in particular that really gravitates towards that. There's weaving, there's definitely painting and drawing, and there's everything in between. Collaging. You know, the only thing that might limit us is our space and what equipment we do or we don't have, or tools that we do or don't have, or materials and things like that. But really, there are no limits.
Ralph, when you do your artwork, what do you do with it when you're done?
I just lay it on the table and just leave it.
Do you give it to friends? Are you able to give it to friends as a gift, or can you sell it?
Well, we could sell it, but it has to be framed and it has to be in a frame.
So every piece of artwork has to be professionally presented.
Yeah.
And that's my job.
Okay.
So Ralph comes in, he does his work, and we look through and we pick the ones out that are the strongest. And we always have artwork out in the community. We have permanent exhibition space at 3rd Street Stuff in downtown Lexington, and also right now at Mecca Dance Studio. And we get shows out as much as we possibly can. And so, you know, the showing of the work is sort of my job as far as getting it out there.
Well, what would
And
be maybe some homework for you, Ralph, and for your team? See this right here?
Well,
could you have that as a project someday and replace this?
Yep.
Oh, we're good at that, actually.
And have some of your artists do that?
Put a few flags on this side.
Yeah?
And put something on this side. It's like, well, maybe a license plate or a map or something like that.
I would love to see, as this is a project, and then that could be used here permanently from Latitude.
Oh, consider it done.
Well, can you do that?
Oh yeah,
Yep.
we do that a lot for different organizations. We take their logo and do collaborations. We actually just finished one, really nice one for a new Beat Baseball Kentucky is getting off the ground, and it's a blind baseball league. And we're actually honoring them on Monday as the Latitude Community Catalyst for 2014, because it's quite an amazing contribution to the world of disabilities to have a blind baseball league, and this will be the first in Kentucky. And we made a pretty amazing, if we could say so ourselves, new banner for them with their logo. So.
Well, it sounds wonderful. Ralph, have you met some pretty good friends through Latitude through the years?
Yep.
And do you stay in touch with them only at Latitude, or do you see them outside of Latitude?
Well, I see them every now and then, maybe at the farmer's market or maybe somewhere.
And for people that don't know about Latitude, what would you tell them happens at Latitude?
Try it, you will love it, and you will enjoy it.
Well, if Ralph is a great example of what happens down there, I mean, there must be just love and energy going on every day that you're at work.
We're full of characters, we're full of laughter, we're full of a lot of practical joking, and
some
a lot
people
of
are just full of it.
A lot of joy, a lot of joy.
Yep.
Tell people where you're located.
We are at 734 National Avenue, Suite 110.
And you're back behind a little hallway, a little alley. And you've got the last place on the right.
Right.
Yep. And Let's give your website and your phone number. So if people want to contact you for whatever reason, how will they get hold of you?
Our website is latitudelex.com, and the phone number is 859-806-0195.
Okay. And do you have opportunities for volunteers?
Always. Always. Our doors are always open for
And
that.
would they come in one day a week, several days a week? How would that work?
It all depends on the person.
Mm-hmm.
We're incredibly grateful for any time that people want to come in and spend, and we're lucky to have many amazing folks in the community that do stop by on a very regular basis and work with us. So we're grateful for any time anybody wants to give, and we're incredibly flexible.
It's not easy to be in a world where you really can't sell things and you've got to create your own funding and that type of thing. Is it a challenge to get funding for the great work that you do for Ralph and his friends?
It is. You always have big ideas, and unfortunately the world does run mostly on that dollar.
Yeah.
So we do get a lot of art material donations, and that's always an incredibly exciting moment when that stuff starts to roll in.
Let's ask for it right now. What kind of things do you need?
We go through a lot of paper, so paper, nice watercolor paper, canvases, paint, acrylics paints, paint brushes, you name it, anything you can think of. We can use pencils, nice pens, markers.
And people can just drop it off.
They can.
So if they're on Midland, turn at the new donut place.
The new one.
The new donut place. Drive down to what street?
If you're at Midland, well, you want to turn on Walton from Winchester Road, where Winchester Road turns into Midland. Turn on Walton, take a left on National Avenue.
Oh, the new donut, yeah.
And actually, I think it's a French bakery. But go down National Avenue, and you will take a right after you see Morningside Woodcrafters, and go all the way back and to the left, back in the parking lot.
So they can come in and drop things off. They can call you first. They can go to your website.
I'll even come pick it up.
So that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And for people that volunteer, do they need to be artists or not so much?
No, it's just the willingness and the heart to want to hang out with us.
This is not on the radar of people in Lexington. You do great work with these folks. Ralph, it was a pleasure to meet you.
Okay.
I hope to see some of your artwork in person someday at one of your events.
Okay.
Would that be okay? Ralph, thank you very much. Thank you. And Molly, thanks for taking Ralph to a new level of art talent, and the rest of those folks too. I'm sure they have a great time with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Paul Chartier. We'll be back in a minute on Heart of Gold.